Hey there, clan, and welcome to my thoughts and experiences at Glasgow MCM Comic Con 2014, which happened this weekend of the 6th and 7th of September. So in this video, I'm going to go over my experience, what I thought of the con overall, and basically what I did doing it, and then I'll also be showing off some of the swag that I got as well. I won't be showing any videos or anything. I actually didn't take any videos while I was at the con, mainly because I was actually there with my little sister the first day, and then my family the second day. And I only took some pictures here or there. I will not be showing them in this video either. They will go on my Facebook page, so if you want to go check them out, I will leave a link in the description to my Facebook page and the album for MCM Comic Con 2014 Day 1 and Day 2. Day 2 isn't up at the moment as the time of this video, but if you want to go check out the videos, go check it out because I saw some awesome cosplayers and it was an absolute great experience. So yeah, we're going to dive into it, and yeah, hopefully you will enjoy this little con report, as we call it, or whatever the hell we are. So let's dive into it, shall we? Okay, firstly, it says I got to talk about, of course, day one. Day one, I went there, and the initial plan on day one was to go with my little sister and an old friend of mine and her other partner. Unfortunately, my friend had to cancel due to the fact that they were ill, so it was just me and my little sister for the entire day. We were only there from about 9 until maybe 1 o'clock, so a good few hours. This is my little sister's first ever convention that she ever went to. And she absolutely loved it and had an absolute blast, where we walked around the entire con, looked at all the cool stuff, and I definitely have to say that the con had plenty of geeky stuff. There wasn't as much gaming stuff this year, sadly, unfortunately. It was only mostly comic books, anime, and artists and all that, but Comic-Con can't expect to be about comics. But I had an absolute blast. I didn't take as many pictures on day one as day two, unfortunately. Day one, I was with my little sister. I had to keep an eye on her most of the time, so I couldn't get a picture with as many people as I wanted. But I saw some absolutely brilliant cosplayers. They blew out of the water. They were fantastic. I don't want to call it a full-on cosplay, but I did a partial cosplay, as I'm going to call it. I basically got a military jacket, an N7 patch, and an Alliance badge on there. You can check out the pictures in the link. I'm not wearing it now because it actually needs wash because it's kind of smelly, and so it's kind of, I actually need to set up to get washed today actually. But yeah, I went there, and I didn't have military jackets. I wanted to do a proper cosplay, but unfortunately I couldn't afford to get Eva foam and make a proper armor. But I went in as a modern day Commander Shepard. I got a couple of people saying it was a very interesting cosplay, a couple of compliments, but it wasn't anything fancy compared to the other ones I saw in the pictures you'll see in the description and on my Facebook page. But I had an absolute fucking blast, and it was a good experience, especially with my little sister. Being there with my little sister and having her in the first con was fun. A bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, but it was fun. I had to stay with her the entire time. I also have to give her a little thank you for being patient with me when I went to go and get 2 autographs. Courtney Taylor and DC Douglas, who, if you're unaware, are professional or who are voice actors. DC Douglas has voiced Albert Wesker in the Resident Evil franchise. Resident Evil 5 was pretty good. And Courtney Taylor, of course, everyone knows from Jack or Joanna from the BioWare games. I will show off here. Now, I did get 2 signed portraits, 2 signed photographs here. I got DC Douglas as Albert Wesker because that's the one that he had on him. There was a Legion one there, but I couldn't afford to pay the extra bucks to get the Legion one. He only had the Albert Wesker. But DC Douglas was an absolute gentleman. He, like my little sister, dressed as a pink Pikachu. He was an absolute gentleman, absolutely very nice guy. He did make you feel welcome. I was extremely fucking nervous. I'm not gonna. These were actually the first voice actors I would have ever met face to face. I do have, of course, Mark Mears' autograph and some Rana McNamee's autograph as well, and of course the BioWare team. But these were the first people who had done works that I admired and enjoyed, especially the Mass Effect series, since it means so much to me. And meeting these 2 people, especially DC Douglas and Courtney Taylor, was an absolute delight, and I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. And DC Douglas did a really good job of making you feel welcome, and so did Courtney Taylor. I also took my this is the Mass Effect, the Art of the Mass Effect universe I also took this to get it signed as well, because my goal is to actually get this signed by every voice, get each voice actor to sign their character. DC Douglas signed, of course, Legion over there. I will eventually get the rest of the voice cast eventually, hopefully, and of course BioWare team as well one day. And of course I got Miss Courtney Taylor to sign up here. If you don't know what it says, for those that don't know, my name is Derek. To Derek, love Jax, and a little skull and crossbone there, and of course her signature. Courtney Taylor was an absolute delight, I'm not going to lie. She was made, both her and DC Douglas made me feel really relaxed and comfortable. And of course I got this as well, which says, Derek, I will destroy you. Love Jack. But yeah, she did a little Jack voice as well, which was absolutely brilliant. It was an absolute delight. There was a wee bit of a wait, I'm not going to lie, but I kind of expected that. There were a lot of people there who, as I got calls, and that's in the line, that's where I got my first comment on my N7 jacket. But Courtney Taylor and DC Douglas were absolute delights to meet and have a little chat with and get a nice wee picture with. They were very welcoming and very awesome. They made sure everyone got an autograph. They made sure everyone got a photo. You could ask them questions for a wee bit. You couldn't spend there all the time, but they were an absolute delight, and I'm very thankful that they were able to deal with me acting like a little bit. I was very, very much on the edge of squeeing like a fucking schoolgirl. So yeah, I'm very honoured that those were the first two voice actors that I've ever met face to face and managed to get their autographs. I don't know if they'll watch this, but if you are, thank you so much for making a little Mass Effect geek happy, and it definitely made the con for me to even have a chance to speak with them. I sadly, unfortunately, didn't get to go to the panels that they were having there. They were having two panels, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. I had to leave my little sister because she wanted to go home, which I had to do as a big brother. So I didn't get a chance to see it, and I didn't get a chance to see it today due to the fact that while I was with my family, we had a bit of a time constraint. We could only go for it. We actually slept in. We couldn't go to the con. The panel was like 2:30, 1:30, I think, if memory serves me. And we had left by then because my family wanted to go home and they had prior engagement after the convention, which I could have stayed, but of course I would have to have made my own way home, and that wasn't too bad, unfortunately. So I had to actually go home, which was, I didn't get to spend much time as I wanted at the con on Sunday, but I did have an absolute blast. It was the same experience, absolutely delightful. So yeah, a big thank you to Courtney Taylor and DC Douglas. Awesome people, and if you ever get a chance, do definitely get a chance to meet them. They are very, very nice, and thank you for that. That basically made my convention for me. My little sister had no idea who the fuck they were, but they also treated her. They thought she was adorable. Of course, the little pink Pikachu gets all the credit. But yeah, big thank you to the two of them, and I will. I'm actually going to be getting these two framed, just like I have my Samara one up there framed. And Mark me, of course. I'm going to get them framed. I just need to buy some frames, unfortunately. And then at the moment, I'm going to have a wall eventually dedicated to just autographs from voice actors. So yeah, I absolutely very much appreciate that, and they were awesome. I didn't do much else on Saturday. I just basically walked about with my little sister. My little sister got a face painted as a zombie. She was adorable. I didn't talk to a couple of the sailors and all that. Saw some really cool artwork. There was some absolutely amazing artists there. Some of them had like small prints, and some of them had very large prints. I didn't pick up any of them, unfortunately, because I didn't have the way to transport them to get them home beyond walking with them. I only had one bag with me. In fact, I had this bag with me, and it was pretty much filled to the brim with stuff by the end of it. So I put the stuff in there, just making sure I don't forget. And yeah, that I had that, and I wish I could have gotten some of the artwork. Some of it was absolutely beautiful. Some really good artwork, manga style, fantasy style, gothic style, and also there were one or two pornographic ones. I'm not kidding. Give me one moment. I don't know if you noticed, the focus seems to be going in and out for some reason. I keep forgetting this thing always turns on. There were one or two pornographic ones. Not in plain sight though. They were near the back. There was one with a cat woman with a low cut top, of course, and cum drizzling on it, but a white substance drizzling out her mouth, and I was kind of like, huh. And I walked away. There were one or two, but it was still very good artwork. I'm not going to lie. It was still good artwork, very well drawn. It wasn't skimpy. It was kind of skimpy, but that was to be expected with certain artists in there. But the artwork was still fantastic. I appreciate good art. Maybe next year, if I have my own place and maybe a full-time job or something like that, I'll pick up some proper artwork and have it nice on the wall, because some of it was absolutely gorgeous. Sunday, didn't do much except just walk around. I did pop by and see if these Douglas and that were there. They were still there. They were doing their usual thing, and they were absolutely brilliant. I didn't get another autograph. I already got the autograph. I didn't want to steal someone's time, so I just popped in, had a wee nosy. And then I just walked around mostly. And on Sunday, I actually got to meet the first ever subscriber to the channel who was at the convention. Not the first ever, the first subscriber I've ever met face to face. He came up to me and said hi. He was dressed as a Daily Shelf. I didn't catch her name. I do apologise. I am very, very sorry for that. But he came up to me and said hi and all that crap. I had a wee quick chat with him, and then I had to start walking away because I was with my family. But he was very, very nice, and I'm very happy. I was a wee bit starstruck. I was like, wait, what? I knew there was going to be a few clan members there. Unfortunately, I only got to meet one of yous. I don't know if any of them either missed me or were too nervous to come up and see me. But there were at least one of you came up to see me. I'm very good. We was dressed at the Daily Shelf. It was absolutely glorious. I didn't get a picture of him, sadly. I probably should have. I'm very, very sorry. It was very nice to meet you, and thank you. You actually have made the con as well for me. Go and meet my first ever subscriber face to face, which was very, very nice. But on Sunday, I didn't really do much else besides just walk about and look at some of the artwork. I was there with my mum, my stepdad, and my little sister. I guess this is where I move on to the swag step. Sunday, they had a couple of new things here or there, a couple of new stalls. Selling different merchandise and all that, but it was mostly the same stuff, so there wasn't anything really brand spanking new. There was a couple of things I wish I could have done, but there wasn't anything. There was also Robot Wars. There were actually Robot Wars. There was a couple of robots from the show Robot Wars there, and it was actually kind of cool to see them, and it was pretty awesome. I did get a couple more pictures with a couple of cosplayers. They were absolutely brilliant. They complimented mine, and I says, yours looks a lot better than mine. In the description, I will go check out the pictures on the Facebook fan page, and you'll see the full cosplays up there. Hopefully, I'll have all the pictures up by tonight. My mum took the majority of the pictures for day 2, so I need to wait for her to get a hold of them. But yeah, that's basically my last experience with that. Was only there for like an hour or two, but I absolutely loved it. It was a great fucking experience. I enjoyed every minute of it. I really enjoy going to conventions. This is the second year in a row I've went to Glasgow Comic Con, and I can't wait to go again next year. It was a lot bigger this year. Comparing it to the first year that was held, which was last year in 2013, comparing that year to this year, it felt bigger. On the first day, here's an example. I got the early access tickets because that's the tickets I always buy. Get in a little bit earlier than everyone. Last year, there was barely anyone in there in early access. There was like maybe 50, 60 people at most. This year, there was easily 1,000+ people in line to get in for early access for like an extra hour or two. Me and my little sister were in the line for at least a half hour to, if not 45 minutes, just to get in a little bit early. It was amazing. It was definitely bigger. It felt bigger. I'm not gonna lie, it really, really did, and I absolutely loved it. It was a long up crowd. It was less crowded. Like last year, had a major problem of being a little bit crowded due to the fact it was in such a small hall, and there were quite a lot of people there. This year, however, they got 2 halls this time. They actually got a much bigger venue. It was in the same place, the SECC, but they managed to book out 2 halls instead of just 1. And actually, I think they booked out 3 halls because there was 1 hall completely dedicated to a little rest and relaxation area that just had a bunch of seats that you could just go over and sit there. And that's where a good chunk of people were, because fucking hell, your feet hurt after a while. But it was like easily 3 halls, and they had it nicely spaced out, and it didn't feel as crowded, which I really did like. There were some parts which were crowded, but that's to be expected. Sunday wasn't as busy as Saturday. I think most people went on a Saturday because Sunday was a lot quieter. There was no line to get in this time on Sunday. It was just walk in and go. That was it. You had to have a pass or something, which we did. But it was just walk in, and that was a bit. And it was less crowded. And I'm going to be honest, I think most people went on Saturday. Sunday was less crowded. There were still a lot of people, but it was pretty cool. I didn't get to do a few of the things. I didn't get to see any panels. I didn't get to see the cosplay masquerade, which I always really want to see, but unfortunately due to the fact I was with my little sister and my family and we had to leave a little bit earlier than I wanted to, you had to sacrifice some things. I enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast, and I definitely can't wait to go next year. I will definitely be going next year. Who knows, maybe I'll get an invitation. I doubt it. And I've got a hankering to go to more conventions now, so I am going to try and save up and go to maybe some conventions outside of Glasgow. I am going to try and maybe go to either E3 or some other con in America at one point. Hopefully next year, hopefully. That it just comes down to financials at this point. But next year, I'm definitely going to MCM Comic Con. I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm definitely going to try and do a proper cosplay this year. Next year in 2015, I'm going to make an armor. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm either going to do Mass Effect or Dragon Age, or maybe a game will come out that will just make me go, I want to be that. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll even do something from the comics I got, which I'm actually going to go through the swag I got now. But other than that, I had an absolute blast. Now, if you don't want to see the swag I got, you can just click off the video now. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. But yeah, I'm just going to go over the swag right now. First of course, if you haven't noticed, I got a Thor hammer. It's not a real one, by the way. It's cheap plastic. My mum bought me this. My little sister got a Bane mask, and I was having a wee look, and there was an Assassin's Creed Tomahawk and an Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade prop. And there was this. And I basically just said, I want the hammer. Because this actually proved to be the cheaper of the options. I didn't want my mum spending a small fortune on me. The Assassin's Creed stuff was like £35 each. So I said, just get me the hammer, that'll do me, and I got Thor's hammer. I have now the power of Thor, and I am worthy to wield it. There was plenty of other stuff I wish I could have gone. There was a lot of props, actually, like replica props there, and jewellery that I absolutely loved, and t-shirts, but I had to be careful, and I only had £100, and let me just say this right now, £100 is not enough. Like, if you want to get some decent stuff out of that con, you can take about £100 with you, and you'll get some cool stuff. I'll show you what I got. I got mostly comics, but if you want anything like this, or replica stuff, or big prints and all that, or statues or something, you're going to be expecting to pay a little bit extra. It wasn't too badly priced, I will be honest. Some of the stuff was reasonably priced, but I easily see that they bumped the prices up a little bit from last year, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I picked up. Now have a Thor hammer, which is a little bent already because I had to rip all the stuff off of it. But yeah, I got a Thor hammer, and I'm just gonna stick my phone on silent because it's on. But yeah, my mum was kind enough to buy me a Thor hammer, and by the way, my mum was very fucking awkward in that area. She liked it, but my mum's not a geek, unfortunately. If you're wondering what this is, I have no fucking idea. My little sister found this on the floor at the convention on our first day there. I do believe it's part of a Kirito from Sword Art Online cosplay. There were a lot of them, and I think this is an armband that someone just didn't realise had fallen off. I asked one or two Kiritos there if this was theirs. They said they still had theirs, so it's probably just someone who just didn't realise they dropped it, and then maybe they looked for it earlier on. But yeah, I can now have I think it's fake leather armband for Kirito. For a Kirito cosplay. I don't think I'll ever do that, but kinky. But yeah, I got this. If the Kirito guy happens to watch this and wants it back, drop me a PM. But yeah, pretty cool. So, oh guys. Now I'll move on to the other stuff I got now. I mostly got comic books because those were fairly inexpensive and they were relatively interesting. I didn't get as many. I did also get some Japanese candy and drinks, but I've already ate them because my little sister wanted to try them, so did I. So yeah, I've already had them. So yeah, they were nice, not gonna lie, I liked one or two of them. But of course, I actually picked up one DVD and one soundtrack. I picked up Attack on Titan Part 1. Honestly, one of my favourite animes that came out, I think it came out in 2013. And I also picked up the soundtrack, which was only £5 if you bought this. The old problem I have with the soundtrack is it doesn't have the main theme, into the Hana, into the Yega, da 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 da. It doesn't have that fucking song on it. It has the soundtrack from some of the later episodes in the series. It doesn't have the fucking song that was so fucking epic. It doesn't have the intro music that was epic. But it's still a good soundtrack, still a good purchase. So in total, these two combined cost me £30, £25 for the DVDs, and £5 for the soundtrack, which I thought the DVD was a little bit overpriced, but anime is anime is always overpriced in some instances. There were a few anime box sets there that I wanted to pick up, but I just didn't have the money for, sadly. Yeah, okay. So another thing I picked up was a random Buffy comic. This is a Buffy Haunted issue 2. Mostly because I like the cover. I'm a big fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar and Eliza Dushku. They are both, in my honest opinion, absolutely fantastic actresses. And I had the biggest fucking crush on her when I was younger. Faith, I had the biggest crush on her. Really cool cover in my opinion. I've had a wee skim of the graphic novel. I do the fact it's the second issue. I may have missed a few things, but I'll probably pick up the entire run of that eventually. Okay, when am I gonna put these? Shit. Okay, I'll just stick it up here. This has got the price on it. Cost me £10. Harley Quinn, Night and Day. I saw this because I picked this up because it looked cool. I like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is one of my favorite DC villains, or anti-heroes in some, if you want to go with that. She's one of my favorite characters from the animated series, and I'm a big fan of her. This isn't New 52. This is older DC, even though it does actually have the newer DC logo. I think this is reprint. I'm not 100% certain. But it also has Batgirl on the back and posed sexily. But yeah, I like this. I like the cover. I like the art so far. I am going to have a proper read of it. It reminds me much of the animated series. So yeah, I picked up Harley Quinn, Night and Day. I will be reading that eventually. This was actually, you got this free when went in. It's Detective Comics 27 special edition. It's basically just a mix match of different graphic. I think it mostly contains the first story of Batman and random other stories. It's just a mismatch of random stories, so nothing too interesting if I'm going to be honest. I'm going to save this one here till last because I have a wee bit to say on this one. Picked up another Batman thing, of course. This was only a $5, so I just picked up it randomly. This is Batman 9 Lives. And basically it is Who Killed Selena Kyle. I do believe these are reprints. This is a reprint of some classic stories from the Batman run. Because it definitely has the older art style to it. Like maybe a late 50s, early 60s art style to it. Maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. I don't think this is an original. I think this is a reprint. It does have the really old DC logo on it, but that could just be the reprint on it. If anyone can confirm whether or not this is actually a valuable thing or just a piece of crap, but I picked it up because I had a $5. I had £15 left, and I just wanted to get rid of a $5, so I picked this up. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will eventually. Now, the next thing I bought came in a pack. It came in a 12-pack, and it cost me 6-pack. Sorry, it came in a you get £15 in total, and it is Serenity Serenity Firefly Class 0365 Leaf on the Winds run. This is I don't know if this is the full run of it. I think it's still continuing, but it is 6 issues of it, and I got it for a decent price. There was also another thing called The Movement that I was thinking about picking up, which is by Gail Simone, but it was a little bit too pricey for me, unfortunately, so I'll probably pick that up at a later date. But yeah, just picked up some single issues of Serenity. If you don't know, I absolutely love the Firefly TV series. It is one of my absolute favourite sci-fi shows of all time. But yeah, so I picked up a bunch of comics. And the last one. Also got this. I got this free as well when you go in the second days previews. Which is basically just have a look through and you can see what you want to pre-order, I guess. Which is alright. I might pick up a couple of things. I'm just going to put these over here. And the last comic I picked up, this was actually I think this is the second last comic I picked up, is Saltire Invasion. The author was there and he signed it, which was very nice of him. The artist was also there. She did offer to do drawings, but she was rather busy when I bought this. For those who don't know, this is a Scottish written, drawn, and based in Scotland graphic novel about a superhero basically called Saltire. It's set during when Romans first started arriving in Scotland. I actually have read it. I need to read it again. Basically, welcome to Scotland's first superhero. I saw an interview on TV on a website with the author John Ferguson. And he talked about he just wanted to make a Scottish superhero, so he did, and it actually blew up pretty well. This is the first story arc. He was releasing the second one and of course this kind of back there at the con, and it will be available eventually. And I had a wee quick read of it, and I enjoyed it. I had a bit of fun reading it. It was actually really, really interesting. So yeah, he's full on red haired Scott who's completely blue, naked. You don't see junk, by the way, and has tattoos on it. And the story and lore behind it is actually kind of fascinating. I kind of like it. It's got that kind of classic Scottish magic sense about it, and I liked it. And yeah, I would recommend it. It's a good read in my opinion. You can get it on Amazon for fairly cheap. And of course, he's called Saltire, which if you notice is called like that. But yeah, I'll read the wee back bit here. When a peaceful land is faced with the might of the conquering Rome, its legendary guardian must stand as one or kneel before an oppressive empire. As the sun rises, the immortal protector awakens to face the ultimate battle for freedom. It's cheesy by the sounds of it, but it is actually rather a cool read, and I do actually like the artwork, and I'll show a little bit of it without giving spoilers away. But there's some of the artwork. I actually rather liked it. I will have to read it again. I don't know if it's available anywhere else outside of the UK or Scotland. But yeah, I would recommend if you can get a hold of it, actually pick up. It's actually rather interesting. So yeah, that's the swag I got, and I enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast at MCM Comic Con, and some of the stuff was a little bit overpriced in my opinion in some instances, but overall the pricing wasn't too bad. I had an absolute blast at it. I enjoyed it immensely. I kind of maybe next year I'll actually stay for the full time and actually get to see some of the panels. But I had an absolute blast. It was an enjoyable experience, and it just made me feel proud to be a geek. While there wasn't much about gaming there was a couple of esports things where you could go watch a couple of people play League of Legends or Hearthstone and all that. It was primarily comic books and artists and all that. It was an absolute blast. I had an immense amount of fun there. It just made, anytime when I was walking, it just made me feel awesome, and I got to talk to some really cool people and some amazing cosplayers as well who all had fantastic work. Please go check out their pictures, as there's a link to the Facebook page in the description. Go check out the albums. It was an absolute experience, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I think I'll wrap up the video. I will be going next year if I can. I will do my damnedest to go next year. Excuse me. Had a ball. It was fun. It was enjoyable, and I don't think I regret my purchase of the tickets I got. It was fun. It was enjoyable, and I would highly recommend anyone, if you can go next year, go next year. It was fun. We'll just have to wait and see who they get next year as guests. Getting Courtney Taylor and Dee Stilgos was amazing, and it was an absolute pleasure to meet them. That was pretty much the highlight for my year, in all honesty. I enjoyed it, I had fun, and yeah, I thank you for watching me. MCM Comic Con 2014 gets fucking worth it, in my opinion. It was phenomenal. I loved it, and I miss it already. Con blues, as they say. And I can't wait to go back next year, and I will try, not going to promise, I will try to maybe go to a couple other conventions this year. Unfortunately, it just comes down to money. I'd say it's the reason Glasgow Comic Con's easy. I live in Glasgow, it's a let's play a bus ride down the town and I'm there. So yeah, maybe some other time I'll go to one abroad, and hopefully I'll actually get to meet some clan members. I do know the majority of the clans abroad, but maybe one day I'll go to other conventions and we'll figure out what happens. Other than that, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you were at MCM Comic Con and you didn't get a chance to see me, I hope you had an absolute blast and it was enjoyable enough for you. And also thank you to the Dalish elf I met there. You were an absolute delight, and I hope that you had a good Comic Con as much as I did. I loved it. I thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and one last question. Who wants me to cosplay as Saltire? Because I'll fucking do it. Other than that, thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92. I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now. Mwah. Hey there, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, regardless of whatever the video topic was about, because I know I'm a complete nut tit sometimes. If you want to check out any of my other further content, all you have to do is click on the little Scottish Warrior 92 thing down the bottom there to take you to the channel and check out the rest of my videos. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, it's just Scottish Warrior 92 everywhere else. And also, if you want to help support the channel, all you have to do is pop in the link in the description to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Scottish Warrior 92, in which if you feel like my content is worth it, you can donate $1 a month to help continue to support this channel and help me make this into a full-time gig. Feel free to go check out the Patreon page to make sure it is to your liking and you actually want to spend $1 a month on this shitty channel. Thank you for watching. Again, as always, I am Scottish Warrior 92, and I hope you'll stick around and may even join the clan by clicking that subscribe button. Thank you. Mwah.